expand the prices out. What happens if they double this though? Think about it. They double this area here where 60% of prices is, and they double the trading range.
Right.
That brings that probability all the way down.
Watching
It cuts it in
myself
half,
from yesterday.
actually, because now you've got double the
My next tab
prices,
here.
and all of those other prices were not inside of this first range. So that changes everything. So if I just wait till we're right before the open, I'm going to look at MNQ first. I like to start my day out there. So this is the price here, and this is where it's going to open on the regular chart here. So it's going to be a gap down. The price opens here, gap down from the moving average because we trade the RTH session. All right, pay more attention to that chart. So let's look at some higher time frames here. I'll come on camera in a minute here. I just got back from the gym. I still got a shower, so I'm okay with missing the open most days. It's not really a lot of edge at the open unless you're a computer. Because you can make money and lose money just as fast, so it's a double-edged sword. They have an edge and you do too if you pick the right direction. So try to skip the open, but what's going on this hourly chart here? Looks like we're still in a trading range, but we did just get two strong bear legs down. Now this could be, you know, a one-legged move, but this, I would count this as just one fluid move here. I wouldn't even, I mean, it definitely subdivided because it has pullbacks, it has pauses. If you go down to a smaller time frame, you'll see, you know, the pauses and stuff. But for in on this chart here, I'm thinking that this is just going to be one leg. Just like this is just one leg. This is one leg. Yeah, it broke a little bit down here, but look, inside, really stayed inside all the way up. So one leg, and this leg needs an answer. And I'm thinking that we're going to get it here. Thinking we're going to get this leg here. So this leg advanced here, 475, and then they were only able to pull this leg back, 221, and then it tried to resume. So that couldn't have been the resumption they were looking for. So they let it fall a little further. So they let it fall ultimately to 343, 100 points low. And then they came back at this gap, which is almost a perfect test of this gap they left open. So there's no gaps open below right now in the hourly. So if I'm looking at this, we're in the middle of this range. We're going up. I can see the case for going up. But since we gap down on the 5-minute, I mean, this gap down could be what they want. They could buy this up immediately because we're at the bottom of this yesterday. So what do? You wait for the open? You wait to see what they give you on the open, or do you try to, you know, get in now betting that it's going to test the high? Because the hourly chart is giving you support for that idea. So this is decisions that I make. I take trades on the open when I'm not confused. But problem is this leg was so big it deserves another leg down, and this leg was so big it deserves another leg up. So the fact that they closed the gap here, the supply zone here, and tested this low, big, strong climax bar, they could have done something strong here and broke below this, but they didn't. Snap back. And the fact that we're at the moving average, I think if we go lower, we're going to bounce. So let me just see what this risk is here. It's 181. 181. This candle's got 30 minutes left. But look at this push here. Let's get some bull targets out here. Push here. This was a pullback, but it didn't go below that bar. So this is kind of still breaking out, actually. But if you want to be conservative here, that will put you where? Put you there on that target for the Bears. For the Bulls, 92 bucks, 92 points. Okay. Um, Based on the strength of this chart and the fact that we closed above the moving average and we're going to gap open below it, I wouldn't feel bad buying here or return to the moving average. That's 80 something points. So let's do that. Let's buy.
Order filled.
And we're going to put our sell order up here to take profits, moving average. And how much are we risking here? 92. So it's a one-to-one trade. So I was thinking earlier though, this opens up and they want to double this range real quick. Uh-oh. They want to double this range real quick. It might come down here because they doubled this range to the top. All right, let's see. So much for that shower, but I probably will still go take one if I lose this. So we opened up far below the moving average and it's still selling. But this is a trading range that held multiple times yesterday. It's probably going to hold again. Even if it gets down here outside of it, it's probably going to snap back pretty heavy. So I'm interested in buying low here. See if the Bulls fall out of bed. I'm getting some kind of reversal here. I'm going to add on. It's going to what I want.
Order filled.
Looking for a return around the MA. Remember that. Probably going to close this gap here. Three minutes left. Still could reverse, but looking pretty good.
Order filled.
We're dragging right now. So we definitely got resistance here, and why? Got this supplies, got the middle of this zone right here. That's why. That's why you're getting this resistance here. But this is a nice open. I wouldn't be mad to add on lower. So if it wants to dip before it rallies again, I would add. Risk reward's kind of diminished right now, so kind of adding on is my risk has to be here and my stop, my target's up here. So unless it dips, I can't really add on, but I can get a good estimate of where. Yeah, I'm more than halfway up there now. Makes sense to sell this.
Order filled.
And if it pulls back, to get back in.
Order filled. Order filled.
Try to hold on for my target up here. It's another 34. It just makes sense. The target just makes sense. I gotta learn to do more of what makes sense. "41 seconds, closing at its high, or near its high right now. It's a nice bar if bears wanted to short it, but they probably think it's going to get to that high, so they're going to wait. All right, they're selling off toward the close of this, putting a wick on the top. So you know there's sellers above, but we're closing above the midpoint and pretty near the top, about 70%. So I'm expecting continuation. I think everyone is. If you get a bear bar though, you might wait to add on below. So what happens? So I'm trapped in this bar, but I didn't buy above there, and so there's no bears. Yeah, there's no other bulls trapped with me right now. If we trade above the high of that bar, they will be with me, and that increases the chances that we're not going to be trapped. But let's we might be able to go for more here, because this bar should at least get a bar like it. Maybe we move the target here. I'm gonna go shower, leave that stop in there. I'm gonna put a catastrophic stop down here. Uh, just because I don't think that even if it falls this distance, that it's going to be, I wouldn't be buying down here or trying to save the position. So I'm gonna just put that down there for protection, and I'm gonna go take a shower, and we're gonna see if these targets hit. And now, this is really strong. This breakout's continuing, so I kind of can just move this line up here and just kind of trail it. But I'm gonna just do that. Let's do that. Let's challenge it to get to about right before the high, and see where it is when I get back. I shall return.
Order filled.
All right, just got out of the shower. This should have worked out immediately. Should have worked out almost instantly. So the fact that it didn't shows me that I was wrong, or at least I'm not right yet. So let me do that. So what's happening now? Let's check out the hourly again. But that was a good analysis at the open there that it was going to do that, the hourly. And it still might. It's still, I mean, this bar is only had 13 minutes left, so it's got to make a decision, but it'll probably close bullish. Um, but problem is, short term now, we're below the 5-minute moving average. But yesterday, it ended on a bullish note. Last night sold off. So are the bulls continuing their commitment from yesterday, or are they giving up? Is that what this is? Because we should be able to put bars above the moving average. Only thing good about this is there's a gap down here from whatever bar that was. So let's see if they can close that. Let's check out ES, see if it's doing anything counter. ES looks a little more clear. You had 3 tries. A little more conviction there. But now you're getting a bear bar erasing almost 2 bars. So we're getting a trading range open here. More trading range than trend. Gap down, we closed the gap, and now we're selling off. So one closed above the MA, and now it's selling off. So bears still have a gap above too from yesterday. I just noticed that. It's a gap here for them. So everyone sees that gap. It's another gap here too, but it's probably considered the same gap here. All that's gap though. So they got to be able to trade back up through those prices, bulls do, to show that they're not giving up. But you start seeing this, limit bulls can't buy the lows of bars, which is what they do. They don't buy the lows. What do? They give up and stop bears make money. So let's see how it unfolds here. The hourly chart is the only thing that's making me think this is going to reverse. But even this hourly chart is tricky. This is tricky. This is a trading range, and we're at the top of it. Trading range here. So we bounced at the middle of it, it looks like. And this had double bottom. I'd say that's the end of the range there. And this is the middle of it. So we bounced on the middle, went up to the top, got some gaps open here, coming back down here. This leg, though, I've been saying it, this leg is big enough where you should get a second leg down. And the bears have not gotten that second leg down. And I think they want it. I think that's a problem for the bulls. So second leg down would take them to the bottom of this. They've already got a double bottom or a double top. Are they going for a wedge top? So think about it. Even if it comes all the way up here, another 30-some points, pokes through here, and this bar is this big. Well, now you have a wedge top at the top of the trading range. Really an expanding triangle, it looks like. At the top of a trading range. That's favoring the bulls. What are the chances of them breaking up? What are the chances of them breaking all the way up here and then resting and then breaking all the way up here? Like, does that even look like a normal chart to you? I'm not saying it can't happen, anything can happen, but does it look like something that's probable? Or does it look like this is more probable? That looks more probable to me. So, but could come up here and stay up here for a little bit and then come down, you know? So you don't want to just be shorting up there. But now it's coming down nice. Let's look at the 5-minute. Look at that bar. Ooh, that's nasty. That's a 20-point bar. That's a 20-point bar. That's crazy work. while we were talking. 20-point bar. See, I want to sell this, but my risk reward, my risk is so far away with an E-mini, I got to either sell less or hope for a retracement. But the more it retraces, the weaker it is. So do I believe in the momentum, or do I believe that big up, big down, big confusion, we're probably going to be in a trading range like we were for most of the day yesterday? And we've actually been sucked back into this range we were in for most of the day yesterday. So not really much to see there. I mean, it looks impressive. It looks like I should be selling, but the Bears just basically answered the Bulls. Now, how can they answer more? They can put another bear bar below here, but then that would be a one-to-one of this move right here. They did this, came down here in the bottom of this range, would be a one-to-one, and the move would be over. So you don't know until you know. So you got to view the probabilities. One of the probabilities is saying, hey, we got gaps above. If this can't retrace a lot, this is going to give you a gap. Okay, so probably going lower unless they really want to try to close this gap, which I don't think that they can. So, but how much of this 20-point bar do I risk? 18, 19 points? What do I do? I get in on the micro scale. Feels like it's not worth the stress of trading it if I don't trade it with a size I can walk away afterwards, right? But bears are not covering down here. Otherwise, you'd see big bars. And you do have bears that sold here, and now they're trapped. New low a day, and we're trapped. So I'm selling this.
Order filled.
I think even if this retraces, it's coming back down once it encounters those gaps. So let's see if I'm right. Put somebody behind it. Let's look at a target for this. If we're in a trading range, I should be scalping, but if this bar has follow through, it's going to get down here. Let's take half the range. I don't know. All right, so they're not showing an eagerness to close this gap right here. And that'll be the third gap they got open. Two major ones if you combine these two. So what does that say? Does that look like a strong bull? Does it look like bulls want to buy, or look like they're a little exhausted and they want to wait for lower prices? To me, it looks like they're exhausted and want to wait for lower prices. But let's see. Bears need to show up here and push below this bar. Stop dilly-dallying. Every time it gets to that low, bulls don't want to give up that low. Got a minute left. This could still reverse. Bulls got to try to close this gap. They leave this gap open on this big bar. That's not very bullish. It doesn't inspire confidence at all. .38 seconds left. This is disappointment for the Bears, i.e. me. Very disappointed by this bar. But one bar, that bar is not big enough to reverse the bar before it. So I'm waiting for the Bears to answer, and I'm waiting for the Bulls to realize they're on the wrong side and to give up. And this, bar should shrink toward the close. And hopefully the next bar trades below it. We are far away from the moving average, though, so we might have to return to that or let it catch up. So we could go sideways, or we could go and tag it and then come back down. Tagging it makes more sense because that gap is open there, and it's so clear. Like, this gap is clear to everybody. And the Bulls are like, damn, we can't leave this gap open or we're going to have a bearish day. So they're either going to agree with the Bears and start selling, or they're going to close the gaps and we're going to go into a limit order market like we did yesterday. Either way, I should be able to manage myself out of this if I stay small and add on at the right time. Bulls should be letting us know pretty quick if they're going to attack those above gaps. Because the longer they wait, the more suspicious the bears get, and the more people start to sell and see that it's not going up. So I'm gonna hold on until I see definitive proof that it's going up. Because admitting I'm wrong would be a loss, which is fine. But in a trading range day, just like yesterday, you're gonna be given a lot of chances to get in and out, and not take losses, and manage the position. You're not always going to be right. You have to know how to manage. So if I'm trapped here, let's say I sold the worst price, which I almost did, but let's say I sold the worst price, and I'm trapped here, and I think that even if we break above this, we're going to come back and test it. Where do I have to add on to this trade to get a break even where that is? Well, if I think we're going to, let's say I think we're going to do this. Let's say this breakout continues and we go here, or it continues and we go, let's say it continues and we go up here. If I think that this is bearish, which I think it is, then this breakout shouldn't go terribly far, right? It shouldn't go as much as this. And if it shouldn't go as much as this, it definitely shouldn't go 1.5 times this. So if I do 1.5 times this from the bottom to 20 points, so 30 points, damn, that's giving me, that's a lot of risk to try to save. But I mean, I don't think they're going to get that high. Let's just see. Let's just see how it plays out. But if I bought the worst price and I sold here, I sold more here, my mid price would go here where that line is. And if I sold a little bit higher to test this right here, that would be where I'm at. But I would need to risk 29 points, so almost, what's that, almost 1,500. And then it would have to start going in my favor pretty quickly after that, or I'd just be out of that money. Instead of closing now, going with what the trend is. But this isn't convincing. Bulls don't want to see this. We traded up, couldn't close the gap. The gap was shrunk, but you couldn't close it. Trading below the midpoint now. You're being ran out. Bulls are being ran out. So they got to show me. Like I said, I want to see something definitive. They got to show me that I'm wrong, because I've taken a side, man. I think that for the moment, this bar needs another bar down. It needs a companion. It needs an answer. 2 legs. So a minute left in this bar and it's reversing. Can it reverse and take them out all the way down here? It could. This bar could expand and surprise the hell out of them and take them out all the way down here. That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. I'd be moving my stop as soon as it hit this, moving it here and letting it run a little bit more. But pretty big bar. It needs an answer. Let's see what they answer. And even if this is, say they come back and correct this and make it a bull bar, should they have allowed this if this is going to turn into a strong bull trend? No, this bar would close at its high, wouldn't have any pullbacks, wouldn't have any rest. You just put in one bar. Why are you resting if you're strong? That's what I'm thinking. You're not strong. You're testing. You're definitely weaker than the bears because they just gave you this. They did in one bar what you did in 3. And now they've rejected you above here for a scalp. Did they get a scalp? Did they get one of these bars lengths? They didn't get a scalp. You took the body of this bar. They didn't get that. Maybe they did. No, they didn't. They missed. So bulls can't scalp. You bought this bar looking for a bar like it. You didn't get a bar like it. So bulls can't scalp. It's got to come down. Disappointment. Come on through these lows, baby. disappointment for the Bulls after the Bears were disappointed. But remember we said we could go sideways while the moving average catches up. So that could be what this is. Or they could come and attack it. There's still a gap above, and there's reasons to go above. I'm not denying that. I could be completely wrong here, but I'm just saying it's not so strong. Like the reasons aren't very strong. There's also reasons to go below. So if I can just hold on and keep my head while watching my P&L go bloody red, I can probably figure out how to get out of a profit or at least a small loss. But I think now's not the time to panic. It's just normal price action right now. So that's a trading range bar right there. That bar, what is that for? Turn these on here. Make them large. 5, 6. All right, so that bar 6 right there. It's not a good buy signal. It's a terrible buy signal, and it is really breakout mode. Well, not really, because they're all outside bars, so there's no inside bars. But it's not a good buy signal. It's hard to buy above this bar. It doesn't give you confidence that you're going to be supported. It shows you actually that there's sellers above, but they're buying. They're taking it. So they're taking bad signals. The bears see that this is a bad signal. The bears are like, hold on, this is a signal for us. But they didn't take it. They took it a little bit below here and gave up. So the bears want to sell higher because they're not contesting this as much. Okay, and the bulls are stronger in this area. So now that I'm trapped here and losing money quickly, I gotta wait till it gets to an area where the bears are strong, and then I gotta short with them there. So you're either gonna see me lose money today, or you're gonna see me work myself out of this into a profit. Both are possible. What's more probable? So I always try to think about when I'm trading and I go into drawdown, like what my actual risk was and what my like how wrong was I? Like was I 8 points wrong? Say this goes against me another 20 points and I'm down a grand, right? 2,400, whatever. Um, if this goes against me by that much and then it goes my way, I have to ask myself, why the hell were you wrong 21 points? Why did how were you so, what did you see that made you so wrong that many points? You know what I'm saying? You weren't wrong 10 points or 5 points. You're wrong 20 some points. Why were you so sure that you were right? So that helps me in the long run, but it's going to suck today if I'm wrong. But I think I'll be able to manage my way out. This is not particularly strong. This could be the second leg to this, or this could be counted as one leg. Let's see how they close it. They close it strong at its high. I want to short below a bear bar, but I think my best short is going to be above a bull bar because it's a limit order market. So do I short this bar and get two more like it and take double this risk on the next bar? It's hard to do. It's hard to do. Or do I wait for a bear bar somewhere up here where they're going to be strongest and then short the next one? And that'll give me higher probability because I've seen the bears be active. But it's also going to decrease my reward for my next contract, and I'm trying to get the maximum reward so I can average in this price and pull it up here, right? So, a lot to consider, but this doesn't make me squirm or anything yet. So let's see when it starts to. Okay, so this was a nice close for them. They closed the gap a little bit more, but it's still there. I'm still waiting for the bears to reply. They got nice risk reward now. Nice risk reward from the top to here. That's not bad. But this bar closed at its high. It's not retracing a ton. It's got the moving average above, but it didn't, it didn't just blast off immediately up through it. So that's good for me, I guess. And the hourly chart is closing now. Is the hourly? No, it's the 1 minute. I'm tripping. Hourly chart closed bullish like we said it would. Remember we said it'll probably close bullish. But inside bar, triangle, I think you can come back and test that midpoint. Feels like you are. Am I just seeing what I want to see? Is there not a triangle right there? Triangle, right? So I'm not crazy. And this is the apex of the triangle. Remember I said my best short's probably above a bull bar, but I need to see some bear activity. I need to see how they deal with it. So my premise is that I'm in a bear trend. My premise is that this is a bear trend. It's more of a trading range, so it's a little bit weaker than a bear trend, but definitely not in a bear trend. Let me get rid of some of this. Definitely not in a bear trend if we do what? We trade above this. Even though this is above, we trade above this, I gotta really consider I'm not in a bear trend anymore. But if we trade above this, we could still be in a trading range, right? So I'm not in a bear trend, but I could be in a trading range. And if this low holds on a pullback, if they pull back and come up here and do this, and that low holds, it could be the start of a bull trend even. So maybe I should get out of this. But no, that big ass wick on this hourly bar is just telling me trading range. I'm going to stick with it, guys. I'm going to say we're in a trading range. I do want to short, but I want to do it when I can pull my average price up nice because it doesn't make any sense otherwise. So that's my first buy, and wherever this line is my second buy, and that's going to be my midpoint. So even if I shorted here, I wouldn't be at break even yet. So my premise is that this bar right here, this big ass bear bar, needs another bar. That the people that sold this, and this needed another leg too, and this could be it. But this needed another leg, and this needed another leg. So they got theirs, it looks like. Give the bears theirs, and let me out of profit. About a minute left in this. That's disappointment to them. So you know it's a limit order market when every other bar is a different color. So bear bar, bull bar, bear bar, bull bar, looking like it's going to be a bear bar, might be a bull bar next. I really need the bears though, since I'm short. I need them to really extend this below that dot on 7, which is the midpoint. Close as close to that as they can. And then the bulls will be forced to take another bad buy signal, which would be bar 8 closing as a bear bar. And everyone sees that's bad. So there's less confidence in it. So people want to see it tested. So the chances of it going back and trading there are high. All right, so that was a close. It was bearish, but it wasn't below the midpoint of that bar. So a little bit more bullish, but definitely disappointing to the bulls because they wanted a bull bar. They wanted a bull body at least, and they got a bear body. So why didn't bulls buy above that bar? It's at the moving average. Is the average price too high to buy right now? Does it need to go down to find support and find buyers? We will see here shortly. They blast up through this. No, they're bullshitting. Literally. If they don't, if they come down here, we're probably going to come down for another leg. Okay, this is like a red bar ignored kind of situation. They're just totally ignoring this bar if they take this out. Probably going to get that second leg up and I should get out. Right when I should be selling more, because if this is a trading range, then they're going to come right back down here. This is tricky. I maybe should have been smaller. I should have started with micros, but here we are. So let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. How can we get out of this? We taking it out? We taking this loss here? And we remember when we could have lost only 500, and we're up 100 for the day, so it'd only be 400. So you're gonna remember when we could only lose that, and we're gonna try to manage ourselves out of this. So let's see what we can do. I don't want to short a bull bar unless it's below the moving average or just above. I'll short it just above. So if this pokes above, closes maybe like right here, I'm gonna short it. I'm gonna make that my add-on, and then the next bar, next couple bars, is gonna have to give me something where I'm gonna have to get out. But look at this price action. It don't inspire confidence. They're weaker here than they were here. Here they were 3 consecutive. Here they're every other. So you're even weaker on the way back up after this big solid bull bar. I'm thinking there'll be another one of these straight down through, and you guys are just gonna give up. So getting pushed back at the moving average again. This gap is still open from this bar. Did they just close it and open a tiny little bit there? So they're fighting these people here, fighting this demand or this supply zone here, but it looks like they're overcoming it. So my mistake here, I sized too big for volatility. When I said, damn, that's a 20-point bar, I shouldn't have went in with an E-mini. I should have went in with micros, and that way I could add it on here, add it on here, add a little bit here. So that's my own signal to myself now, and I'm going to watch that and try to incorporate that. When I'm like, damn, these bars are big, you need to trade small. You shouldn't even be on the E-mini chart. So okay, we could have lost 500. We're $100 worse now. Okay, have they closed that gap completely? They did close that gap completely. Okay, but the bulls don't have gaps below. So they're getting near the moving average. It's an average price. I want to see them close this kind of bullish, and then I'm going to short it. And they're going to have to give me, I'm betting against 2 consecutive bull bars because we haven't gotten that since the open. So that's what I'm betting against here. All right, I'm selling this.
Order filled.
All right, that's the best I can do. So I'm expecting this now to reverse back down. take out this low, let me out at break even, maybe a profit. If it can give me one of these bars, great. But you got to think bears are still up here selling. You got to think that they're going to sell that bar again. Could this bar have been the answer to this one? Could this have been the first leg, and then this is the second leg down? Possibly, but then if you got this, wouldn't you get a leg? Wouldn't you get a third leg down? Don't you think? Or am I imagining it because I'm in a loss and I don't want to close? What do you think? I think you would. Remember, you still got trapped bears down here. Maybe they got out here, but I think you trapped them again here. So I think there's still bears down here, and they got to let them out. You don't sell below a moving average and get trapped and don't get a chance to get out very often. But they do put some pain on you first. So this is what this is. They're putting pain on me. Remember, I'm betting against them putting two bull bars together because that would be different price action than they've been able to do in this leg so far. So is the leg getting stronger or weaker? If they can put two bull bars together, it's probably getting a little stronger. But if it's bull bar, bear bar, it's probably getting weaker because the higher you go, the more inclined bears are to sell. So the higher you get into those prices, the more bearish it's going to get. So even if you're bull bar, bear bar on your way up there, eventually it's going to go bull bar, bear bar, bull bar, bear bar, bear bar, bear bar, bull bar. You know what I mean? It's gonna flip eventually. Can I hold on for that? I don't know. I hate going down the first day of the month. I do. So I'm trying not to do that, but it might be worth it to close this and go long because we are above the moving average now. But trading range price activity, this long wick here is keeping me trapped in here. It's keeping me trapped in because it does nothing to just reverse this back down. It's nothing to just reverse it back down. Even 10 points to scalp, and I only need 7. So maybe that should be the limit. Maybe 1,000 points, about 10 points. We'll put me there. We could have lost 5. Could have lost 5. Now we're up to 1,000. We're double that now. Is that enough? Am I wrong? Let's see. I'm gonna give it one more bar after this. Hold me to it now. I'm gonna give it one more. There should be some decisions made up here in a second. Now this has turned into a pretty strong leg here, but does this look like a start of a strong bull trend, or does it look like a bull leg in a trading range? It looks like a bull leg in a trading range. Every other bar is a bull bar. So I bet that they couldn't put two bars together, and they did. And now they have a gap. So they're trading above it, and as soon as I close this position, they're going to reverse. So everyone get ready to sell. Losing all this money at the beginning of the month. What a terrible way to start the month. Yeah, I gotta get out. All right,
Order
so I'm
filled.
up 1,200 for the day. I think it'll show up here. I'm down 11.16 for the day. I think this is gonna reverse, so I can't go long. And I don't want to. Mm, I just got a short below a bear bar. I think this is getting ready to reverse, guys. I got out right here. Remember that. So we gave ourselves an extra $600, and we couldn't make it work. So we should have taken the 500. That was a bad decision. And that's how I'm going to classify that in my journal. But now we're going long, and we're breaking above this, and we have gaps above. Remember, we still have these gaps here, gaps there. So big up, big down. Said this in the beginning, and I sold the low. Got trapped. Big up, big down, big up. What's this? Confusion. This is probably going to start to come back down here. I just feel like it is. If it does, I gotta. If it starts to happen, I gotta go short again. Even if I gotta risk a little bit more. Let's check out MNQ. See if it's changing anything here. Tesla made it back. Just got out of that too. There it is. What do we say? It was going to 455, and that's where it's going. There it goes. So let's go back to MNQ. And MNQ has also reversed. So it would appear if I was able to survive this here, I could have caught a very good bull trend. But the day's not over. We can still salvage it. Back to ES here. Look at it selling off. So I get back in here. Now that I've seen it sell, I can try it again. Get back in and get my money back. And this makes sense. This makes sense to sell here. This price action is not convincing enough to think that you can break the high of the day or the high of yesterday. But where would you be going? You're going to do one of them. It's going to do one of them. This range is going to break up or down. This range is going to break up or down. But because I've already lost money, I can't sell a bull bar. I can't do it anymore. I gotta wait. I gotta wait to sell a bear bar if I'm gonna short. So let's be patient. Let's wait. That's a big tail closing below its low. If it turns bearish, I can short it because that means it could give me one of these, and that could happen really quickly. So I really want that. But it traded above it, and it's struggling to even get the midpoint. Where are the bulls buying at up here? Where are they at? And there's a gap below, and a gap here, and you shouldn't be able to leave gaps open in a trading range. So let's see. That's a weak bull bar. It's very weak. but it is a bull bar, and it is closing above the high of the last bar, so closes are still trending. But let's see how they treat this one. If this becomes an inside bar triangle on a smaller time frame, this stays inside of here, I'll feel better about a reversal. But right now, it looks like I'm just missing a bull leg, which I don't believe in. There's no risk reward for this because you've already come from the middle of this channel here. Well, that is interesting too, that they came to the middle of this trading range. Came to about the middle and one. So them going up half of that would be 2 to 1, 1, and then this will be 2 to 1 of that, this line here, and that's where they're stalling at. You guys see that? They're stalling right here. They're 2 to 1 from this breakout here. This breakout here was half of this range right here, and that's 2 to 1. Right there, that bar. Take that first bar where it got interrupted. If you can find out where they're going, where they're going to take profits, you can initiate your shorts better there. So that's why I'm doing all this. But anyway, so right here would have been that one bar. And if I pull this up to include the second bar, because it is part of the breakout, this is all one breakout though. There hasn't been a bar traded below the low of another bar. So what do? The probability is, right now, it's still a little muddled because this has not gotten a pullback. If this gets a pullback and it's not as deep, and then it can take off, that's going to be a lot different than if it gets a pullback in a trading range. It comes back down here, because then it could just do what it did yesterday, all freaking day yesterday. Right? That's what it did here all day. But you pulled out of it, you came back to it, you raced out of it again from the upside. And then you slowly edged your way up. Get that gap open from 10 to 12. That's stifling a lot of selling right now. So what changed for the bulls? Well, they were able to get 3 closes above the moving average right now, when before all of their closes had been below except for one. The bears have only gotten 1, 2, 3 closes below the moving average, and one of the opens is above. So it's looking like the bears are actually losing the grip here. But you don't know this is broken out until it retests. I could go with this like I just went with this, like an idiot. But if I go up here, if I go long now, well, we are near the moving average. Let's check out the 1 minute here. That wouldn't be a good buy there. This would be a good buy here, but what am I doing? I'm buying a bear bar because it's a pullback. So I'm buying the closest thing to the moving average, which is scary because you're the closest to reversing when you're near the moving average. But I'd be more inclined to buy something that touches this or goes a little below than I would be to buy something that's far away from it right now. It can be a little elevated from the 5 minute, but the 1 minute is usually the momentum. So you don't want to be buying up here, buy down here. Don't buy here, buy here. Don't buy up here. Buy here even though it fell, and then buy more and get out here like I tried to do here. So Let's wait. Let's wait and see. Hurry up and wait. I don't like that P&L staring at me nasty looking though. Mm. Where is it? Alright, now you got a gap on this 1 minute. This is a channel, so it's a spike on a larger time frame, probably a 10 minute or 15 minute. Spike right here, consecutive bars. So in the channel, I should just be buying the lows and I'm not selling them. But this channel is looking more like a wedge. So how many pushes up until you reverse? We've got one, pull back two, and this pulls back, this will be three. Okay, so this is pulling back to the moving average, which is also the channel line in this channel here. Would be a terrible area to buy, to get long. But once again, this could be the top of the trading range. And what happens if I buy here? If I buy here and then it comes all the way back down here and I've lost twice, I would be upset. More upset than I am right now with this little $1,100 for sure. So I'll get that back. It might take a couple days, but I'll get that back. That's not a problem. But 2,000, 3,000, that's where you got to take a couple days off. And that costs you money because you're taking a couple days off. But it's saving you money because you'd probably be losing those days if your mind's not right. Sound like I'm running an asylum. If your mind is gone, it's a treacherous road. Well, you really are. You really are. All right. Well, I can't get anything from these charts. Let's go to ADD and see if it's doing anything that I can recognize. Is it up companies, down companies? What is it doing here? Okay, so it started out up companies about 500, and now it's down about 12. So it ain't giving me nothing either. It's saying it's bearish, really. It's saying we're a little bearish today. But yes, yes. Okay, this could be an inside bar here. Remember, we're looking for that wedge. Got a wedge top and a trading range top. We'll get this third leg down. But this is already two legs to a high. It's one pullback, and this is all the second leg here. All the second leg. We're letting the 1 minute moving average catch up to price. Are they going to support it? I think this is strong enough where it's going to get a second leg. But this could be the second leg to this. And this could be the third leg. Right here. And this would be a crazy looking wedge. But I mean, it's not stopping. Like, what do you want me to do? I just missed my chance to buy at the moving average. So knowledge is nothing without the will to act, guys. I have to act on these. This would have been an easy 150 here. They pull back though. They punish when they resume. They're punishing them now. But how far is this going? Are they going for double this range? Are they going for 20 plus 20 more? That leaves a little room there. 16 points. Trading range here. Yeah, I gotta buy.
Order filled.
And you know where my stop has to go? Down at the low of the fucking day. I don't have to be this big, I know, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna try and I'm gonna do my risk reward as a 1-to-1. And guess what I'm gonna do, y'all? I'm gonna end this stream and I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna put my sell order up here, and you will know if we hit 67, 62 that I got out, break even for the day. I might leave the stream up, I don't care. But yeah, I'm gonna get long now. Even if we come up here and double top, we probably got a second leg up. This leg is too strong not to now. So we get about halfway up, we'll double the position size and try to get a profit out of this endeavor.